If you're into video in any form, you've probably looked at gimbals, whether that's for your phone or for a DSLR or for a GoPro or something similar. And I'm sure when the Ronin S came out a few years ago, you, like me, were super interested in getting some cinematic smooth footage, but you might not have been really that keen on the price. Luckily for us, competition between gimbal makers means the consumers always win. So there's now an array of gimbals out there and they don't cost an arm and a leg. And I've got one of them here right with me. This is the feiyutech AK2000 DSLR/mirrorless gimbal, and this is my review of it. To be completely clear, feiyutech did send this gimbal out to me, but they haven't pre-screened the video or asked me to say anything about it, so this is my genuine view of the product. So first off, what makes this gimbal worth checking out over all of the other gimbals out there? And in my experience, that's purely down to the usability of the AK2000. And a lot of that is thanks to this little touchscreen on the front here. If you've used a gimbal before, you'll know that sometimes it's quite tricky to see what mode it's in or to change the settings on the fly. But with the AK2000, the little touchscreen allows you to just see what settings you've got and change them if you want to without having to go into any phone menus, and I think that's a really great feature. Another great feature is this little wheel on the side here. Now you can just use it for controlling the gimbal to go left or right or up or down, but a slightly more exciting feature is you can hook it up to your camera to control the zoom of a lens or the focus motor as well. And that's really exciting. I bet if you use a GH5 or something similar with not the best autofocus, that might be a really nice feature to have. For me personally, I just stick with the autofocus on the A7 III, or I just go manual focus on it. But it's a really nice feature to have, and all the wires you need do come in the box, which is really nice of feiyutech. All of those cool usability things would be kind of useless if the gimbal was like a nightmare to set up, but it's actually not too bad, and after you've done it a few times you can get really fast at it, and I'll try and show you that now. So I usually use the Sony A7 III for this gimbal, which is what's filming me right now, so I'll have to show you how it works with the 70D. I'll probably get it all totally wrong, but don't judge. And once you've got that, you're pretty much ready to roll. Switch the gimbal on, and it should spring into action. And there we have it. Something like that. So yeah, it shouldn't take too long and it's quite easy to get sorted once you are. Nice. To top off all those great features, you can actually dismantle this into smaller parts, which means it's really easy to fit into a bag or something similar. feiyutech do give you like a polystyrene kind of suitcase sort of thing, but you don't really need it, and when it's this small you can actually just fit it into a camera bag, no problems. It's not actually that heavy at all either. I've taken it out on plenty of shoots with it just in the bottom of my bag, and it really hasn't weighed it down that much. Especially if your bag's already on the verge of being quite heavy, this really doesn't add a huge amount to it. Hopefully you can see from this footage that I've been really happy with how the AK2000 has performed over the time that I've been using it. Footage has that cinematic, smooth, gimbally look to it, and I've been able to get shots that I wouldn't be able to get before. It's worth remembering though that getting good footage out a gimbal is only as good as the person operating it. So for the first few times you go out, don't be saddened if the footage doesn't look exactly the way you want it to. My recommendation for that is to try and master that ninja walk. The gimbal does compensate for a lot, but it doesn't compensate for up and down sort of movement, which you do a lot of when you're walking. You can counter that by using something like a skateboard or sitting in a car or something like that while it goes along. But don't worry if you see a lot of that. Another way to get rid of it is to shoot in slow motion too, and I use this quite a lot, and that really evens out your movement. You can obviously use a little bit of post-processing, maybe warp stabilizing in Premiere, just to tone it down a little bit as well. But like I say, don't worry if it doesn't come out amazing first time. After a few runs with it, you'll start getting some really awesome looking footage. Even if you're new to shooting with a gimbal, you're going to get some good stuff from the AK2000, whether that's just setting up your shot or following someone in a really interesting environment, you're going to get some cool stuff, and that's really what shooting with it is all about. If you're trying to up your filming game or just to change up the shots that you've been getting, I think a gimbal is a really good investment now more than ever. The AK2000 sits at around £325, which is about the same price as a half decent lens, and to get this piece of technology for that really isn't that bad. It was only a few years ago that getting this sort of equipment seemed like a bit of a dream, especially for people who were making films or for YouTubers. More than anything though, it's just fun to film with and to change up the way you think about shots. And in filmmaking, that really is worth its weight in gold. So that rounds up this review. If you enjoyed it, pop a like. If you loved it, pop a sub. And I will see you all in the next one.